I'm doing my best work.
Thanks, I fucking love you.
We have love you too.
And your outfit.
Hi, from ColorMagazine.com, go there. Anyway, I have a Buffy question. When is Angel going to show up in season 8?
I don't know. Probably when it's the most painful. When George just figures out how to draw him. He's called me, he's like, I just can't figure it out. There's so much forehead.
Well, I think we've all seen that networks and studios are completely ruthless, so my question is, what advice would you have for an aspiring writer who's about to be crushed by this world they are in, and especially one who can only hope to be good enough to join one of your writing teams one day?
Thank you. My advice is going to be the advice that I give everyone, and it's not necessarily great career advice, is if you have something to make it. If you want a career, you can sell it, and you can be like I was for the first 6 years of my career, which is miserable, because I was getting paid an enormous amount of money to write things that were not made, or were made poorly, or weren't used. It is potentially a soul-crushing machine. Until I made Buffy, I never felt like I had ever told the audience a story myself. I felt like with Toy Story and Speed, I had helped and been part of it and felt good about that, but the first crack I got at really telling a story was pretty late in my career. Now, with the technology that's out there, anybody who wants to make a film can make it and have millions of people potentially see it. It's not going to make you a ton of money, but it's a way better way to teach yourself about writing and storytelling than just throwing yourself under the wheels of what is becoming an increasingly unwieldy machine.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the Dr. Horrible panel, so Tomo, I need you to pretend to be Neil Patrick Harris for me for a minute.
I can't do it. It'd be terrible.
He can give you affiliate.
Okay. Neil is at that end microphone. I, like both you and Neil, am a huge fan of Steven Sondheim, and a few years ago I got to see both of you when I sat 12 hours at wall Sondheim uptown. And I was wondering if you had considered maybe 15 years from now when Dollhouse finally gets canceled.
Yes, you.
If you have ever thought about adapting and directing a Sondheim musical, what would you like to do? Have you thought about it? Do you have like a dream cast? I thought Tim Burton did a great job, and I would love to see what you could do with any of the shows.
Yeah, sadly I thought about that way too much. And my answer, probably still Sweeney Todd. I still think, I'm sorry? I still think, I thought there were some things he captured nicely, but I still think, there's some essence of the show that could be brought out. But obviously I have to wait for a while on that. If not that,
Buffy on Broadway.
I've thought about that. I've thought about all of them. So probably Little Night Music, which also it's a lovely piece. And yeah, Buffy, Dr. Horrible, I want to be on Broadway. I'm just a Broadway. I'm off my tired feet. 42nd Street.
Whedon and Sondheim might actually make people die of happiness, so maybe watch that one. But my question is, you have worked in so many genres like sci-fi, or obviously sci-fi to space, superheroes, and supernatural. You had mentioned that you've been, having movie pitches and stuff that, for whatever crazy reason, haven't happened. But I'm just curious, what genres that you haven't done would you like to explore, and what themes would you like to explore in them?
Well, for a long time I dreamed of making a Western. Then we did One Day in the Desert, where you were seen from episode 2 and then seen from episode 1, outside a house in the desert. I was like, I think I'm over it. Western.
People were melting to death.
I was like, what a world! It was horrible. So yeah, the themes I would like to explore is air conditioning. I'd have to say, if I could do anything that I haven't done before, I would really, really love to make a frilly costume drama. Probably Elizabethan. Smoking dresses. There's also late 19th century, sort of the ballet when Degas was around, that kind of time, that stuff. I love that. I would love to do one of those because costume drama, as those of us who love sci-fi know, is the closest thing to sci-fi because you're basically interpreting the world. You don't know what it's like any more than you know what it's going to be like 100 years from now. So it has that same sort of excitement, plus dresses.
Hi, I was just wondering if you heard about, during the Wonder Woman's training, they did a video of Nathan doing a little intro, and he teased everyone by saying, I'm busy working on Serenity 2. Stay quiet for about 10 seconds. And then he said, no, just kidding. I was wondering if there's any way you could punish him by putting him in the next season of Dollhouse and then killing him.
I don't think I have to wait for TV to do that. He has got to stop doing that to me. He takes you all, you're like his yo-yo. I think I speak for everybody here when I say Nathan's a cock.
Bruce Timm could not just stop saying nice things about you and your Wonder Woman script you did. I just thought, oh cool, you should know that.
Thank you, I didn't know that anybody read it. I wasn't aware that I finished it.
Well, just so it's serious. I feel there's a hole in the animation right now. I'm not an animator, maybe get some booze. So there's I don't know, I don't even know what sort it would be, but you've ventured into so many areas, and I wonder if that's still
That's
a possibility.
enormously alive in my life. It's something I'm dying to do. And I've been seeing companies that have been doing full CGI animated films for 1/10 of the budget of the majors and still turning out really beautiful work. Like the technology is advancing to the point where I could actually do something like that without being spending 5 years being noted to death and having it because I worked at Disney for a while they were developing a lot of their musicals and back before right after Little Mermaid sort of changed the game and before Toy Story changed it again I adore that world and I'm dying to do some animation. The animation that I watch mostly now is pretty much the Final Fantasy cut down set to Evanescence on YouTube.
Freaking out, I'm actually in your presence, so
I'm a little freaked too.
My question is about, you have this really, really intense fan base, and then your actors as well just seem to be willing to follow you wherever you go, and I was just wondering, well, we know it's because you're an unbelievable genius, but I was wondering what you think it is that makes everyone